Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My mom lied to me about who my father really was.
She claims Mom hid a letter
It was in the Bible because you put it in the one place I would never look.
from her half-sister.
It says, your father is my daddy.
I didn't think he was the father.
You sent a Father's Day card. I couldn't have asked for a prettier little girl.
I cannot stand hypocritical liars.
The evidence indicates you knew he was the father. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. You know, growing up, Sherry says she always felt different from her sister Dana, who she claimed was treated like gold, while she says she was picked on by her father and despised by her mother Betty. Then something happened when she was 21 years old. She received a letter from an 11-year-old girl named Sarah who dropped a bombshell, claiming they were half-sisters who shared the same father. So, for her entire life, she had believed the man who raised her and who she thought was her father was not even related to her. So Sherry says when she confronted Betty, her mother, that she snatched the letter away and said it was all nonsense. But for years, Sherry continued to wonder about the letter and wonder about that little girl. Well, it wasn't until years later when she found the letter tucked into the pages of her mother's Bible that Sherry realized that her God-fearing Christian mother was lying to cover up a lifelong secret. Take a look.
When I think about what my mom has done, it feels like my whole life is a sham. About 16 years ago, I was visiting my mother's house and a letter arrived in the mail. It was sent to my mom, but it said, "Attention, Sherry." It says, "Hey, you do not know me, but I wish you did. I am your half-sister. My name is Sarah. You are probably freaked out, but your father is my daddy, Wayne." When I read the letter, I was devastated. I immediately confronted my mom about the letter. My mom flat out said that all of this was crazy and none of this was true. My mom snatched the letter from me and I never spoke to anyone about any of this. For years I thought about what that letter said and this girl Sarah. 2 years ago I talked to my sister Dana about this.
This was complete news to me. I told my sister Sherry she needed to go to Mom's house and find that letter.
I searched my mom's house and I found the letter inside her Bible. With a few internet searches, I was able to find Sarah, the 11-year-old girl. I also found my dad, Wayne. We spoke on the phone. I was relieved to finally know the truth. I told my mom that I'd had a conversation with Wayne. She just shut me down. My mom still denied it and acted like it wasn't a big deal. A few weeks later, my sister and I traveled to meet my dad, Wayne. Meeting my dad for the first time was amazing. It was perfect.
Wayne grabbed her and he was crying.
We just instantly hit it off.
I was so happy for her. It was wonderful. I was blown away at how much Sherry and Wayne looked alike.
I wanted some proof, so my sister, my mom, and I all had DNA tests done. The test proved my sister Dana and I had the same mother, but we did not have the same father. In my eyes, my mom is nothing but a liar. How you forget who you have sex with and who you got pregnant by? Who just forgets something like that? I don't know if I'll ever heal or get over this. I want my mom to take full responsibility for what she's done.
So when you got this letter from the 11-year-old, you were how old?
21.
Okay, so that's been 15 years ago.
Yes.
Okay, so you're 21 and you get a letter from someone that says, by the way, I'm your sister, we have the same father, which means the man that you thought was your father all of your life is not, and you just drop it?
No, I questioned her over and over that day, and she just kept saying, no, she knew who my father was. When she snatched the letter, because I did say that I wanted to write this little girl back. She snatched the letter, and I remember asking her about it very rarely because I wanted the address and I couldn't find it. But she would just change the subject.
Somebody says that they're your sister, which means you've got a different father.
Oh, I know. I did not let that go. I searched for her on the internet. I searched Sarah. I searched Wayne. I tried numerous times and I never told anyone because, I mean, no one knew except for me.
Well, here's an excerpt from the letter that you got from Sarah. It says, "Hey, you don't know me, but I wish you did. I'm your half-sister. My name is Sarah Beth. You are probably freaked out, but your father is my daddy, Wayne. I'm 11 years old and wish to see you. I have always wondered about my daddy's life he never told me about. You probably have never met him, or at least not to my knowledge. If you wonder why I'm just now writing to you, it's because just tonight I found a picture of you. Well, Sherry Dawn, I just want to hear from you. I don't know you, but I love you. Betty, nice to meet you, but even though I've only seen pictures."
That was a picture that my mother apparently sent to him, and I did not even know he had that until about 2 years ago.
Okay. So he got it from somebody. I mean,
My mother.
That is you.
Yes, that is me.
So, fast forward 15 years, you find this letter tucked in your mother's Bible,
Yes.
and you reread it. How do you feel when you reread it second time?
Almost sad because I knew that Sarah was an adult by now, and she probably thought that I was a horrible person when I really thought about her for years and years, and I wanted so badly to get in touch with her. I thought she was going to hate me.
So she writes you, and it's just crickets for 15 years. She doesn't hear a thing from you.
Never heard anything.
So she just figures either you didn't get it or didn't care or didn't want to meet her.
That's what I assumed.
Okay. And now you have the letter in your hand. What do you do?
I actually immediately called my sister Dana because we had recently talked about this and said, you wouldn't believe that I found this letter and where it was at.
Okay, and when you talk to her, you two start comparing notes, and you say some things start to make sense about the way you've been treated, which you say is different than your other siblings. You have
Yes.
4 older siblings.
Yes.
How?
I was always criticized. Well, growing up, she never told me I was pretty. I think most mothers do for their daughters. She never ever told me I was pretty. I rarely got hugged.
And you said she allowed you to date a 26-year-old convict when you were 13?
I was 16 then, but that doesn't make a difference.
Not much. So, how did that happen?
I think she would have never allowed any of my siblings to do stuff like that. And she didn't care. They would live with me. I mean, I just don't think that that's a very loving mother. I would never allow my daughter to do that.
What do you mean they would live with you?
Several of them lived with me and moved in the house. That's not a loving mother.
Yeah. And you think this is because she saw you differently? She knew you weren't like the other children?
I just don't think that she loved me the same. I don't think that she really looked at me like her daughter because she got pregnant by the wrong person.
And you say she cut you out of the will?
Well, not necessarily cut me out. I was never there. I didn't know this. I was never there to begin with. Just my other 3.
Double
reasons.
standard all the way around.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you confronted her with this finally, what does she say about it?
She completely denies that she even knew, but yes, she wrote letters to him.
Okay. Well, coming up, Betty is here, and she says this isn't just as cut and dried as it seems here. So we'll hear what Betty has to say when we meet her next. And later, we will hear from Sherry's alleged father, Wayne, and find out what he wants Sherry to know about their relationship.
I feel like Sherry's just making a big deal out of things. I remember meeting her father once or twice. I didn't know where he lived. I didn't know anything about him.
And later...
I hate her so much.
How are you?
If I went on Dr. Phil's show, I'd beat your ass.
If you're going to talk that way, you're going to leave.
I just want the truth to come out.
You got a funny way of going about it.
When I think about my mother and I, we've never gotten along. I feel like she hates me. She is emotionally abusive and always has been. She has always been critical of me. I was either too fat or too skinny. My mother is cruel. My mom lied to me about who my father really was. I've walked around most of my life thinking my dad was actually my dad and he wasn't my dad at all. The best way to describe my mom is pure evil.
Well, Sherry says she was shocked to receive a letter in the mail 16 years ago from a little girl claiming that they shared the same father, a man named Wayne. When Sherry confronted her mother with the allegation, she snatched the letter and hid it in her Bible until Sherry finally found it just 2 years ago. Now, Betty claims she isn't really sure who this Wayne person is, and that it shouldn't matter anyway because her daughter Sherry had a perfectly good life.
I feel like Sherry is just making a big deal out of things so she can get what she wants in life. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I'm not perfect either. I remember meeting her father once or twice.
What was his name?
Why do y'all want people's names? I'm not putting people's names out there. Their relationship is between them, not me. I don't feel comfortable using Sherry's father's name. I didn't really know him. I had met him out dancing and all. I might have seen him 3 times. I didn't know where he lived. I didn't know anything about him. I do not remember sending him a picture when she was a kid. I had to have done it. You know, I don't write letters. I don't do things like that.
My mom claims that she does not know who my biological dad Wayne is, but she carried a letter that was sent by his younger daughter to me inside her Bible for all these years.
I wrote one letter in my life. As far as writing him letters, I wasn't in contact with him.
My mother is a big fat liar.
I never had a doubt in my mind who her daddy was. I always thought Sherry and Dana had the same father, the guy that I dated for 40 years. It does bother me that she went and had a DNA test done. I thought it was going to come back okay and all. If she got angry, I don't really know. I don't remember that part of it, but if she did, you know, that she had the right to be angry, I guess. My best advice for Sherry, don't just dwell on the past, live for the future.
Well, Betty, we've been talking a bit, and I'm glad that you're joining us now, because I try to bring about peace and harmony in families, not discourse and fragmentation. So I'm hoping that we can find some way to do that here. Now, you have not actively deceived your daughter all of these years, correct?
Correct.
That's your position here. It's not that you've known something and actively, purposely hid it from
That's
her
a
all
lie.
of these years.
That's right.
lie.
That's right. No, it's
You
not.
talk to him every year.
No, it's not.
Okay, and so you're saying that when the paternity test came back, you were as surprised as anybody to find out that she did not have the same father as Dana, for example, your other daughter.
That's right.
We look alike.
I thought you looked like,
Me and Wayne look alike.
well, I thought you, I didn't know him that good. I had met him in a club. I did not know him that good. I had only been out with him maybe 3 times. And you knew that, or you didn't know that.
Alike, and if you didn't see
Yeah.
it, that's just crazy.
Well, I didn't really know him. I had met him out, and I didn't think he was, you know, I thought you looked like Dana when she was a baby. And the pictures I have
Maybe
of
it's
Dana.
a baby because we look nothing
all.
alike now. Nothing.
What you're saying is that no time until you saw this sibling DNA test did you have an inkling that that Wayne was her father.
I didn't think he was.
Do you remember getting the letter from the 11-year-old Sarah?
Sherry got a letter. It was sent to her. Sherry read the letter and put it down or whatever, you know.
I didn't know. I never put it down.
Well,
you
I don't
hid
know
it.
what
You
you
snatched
did.
it. You hid it from me.
No, I did not hide it
You
from
hid
you.
it from me because you put it in your Bible.
You
No.
didn't read the letter? Somebody sends your daughter a letter and says that they have a different father and you didn't read the letter?
I might have read it. I don't remember, as far as really reading it. I don't know.
Well, I get a lot of mail, but I think I'd remember that one.
Well, no, I did not read, Sherry is one, I did not go through their mail. I did not mess with her stuff.
Just mine. She treated me differently, see?
Well, I'm not
No,
asking
I
about
didn't,
going
Sherry.
through her mail.
No.
I'm just saying she showed you this letter, right?
I don't really remember. She may have showed it to me.
How did it get in your Bible?
I don't remember it being in my Bible.
Oh,
I really
I didn't
don't.
put it there.
I don't believe it was in the Bible.
It was in the Bible because you put it in the one place I would never look.
No, I did not, Sherry.
That's not a bad person.
No, I did not. It was not put in a Bible.
We're going to add Sherry's older sister, Dana. She's here, and she says her relationship with her mother, Betty, has also been ruined by what she calls her lies. We'll meet her after the break.
To say the least, I am beyond angry with my mother. My mother's just being a hypocrite. A good Christian woman does not lie and hurt people. The gig's up. Quit lying.
And later, it appears you even sent a Father's Day card.
I really don't remember that. I wrote maybe 2 letters in my life.
That's one of them.
My whole life, my mother made me feel that I was just not good enough to be her daughter.
She was treated like all the other kids, probably treated better.
I've always been treated like the black sheep, like some kind of ugly stepchild.
I gave her everything she ever asked for. I spoiled her because I loved her. She did what she wanted to, when she wanted to. You couldn't control Sherry.
Because of everything, I have so much anger and resentment towards her.
I feel like Sherry is ungrateful for what I've done for her. She doesn't try to help herself.
I don't know why she never cared for me and was always hiding this big secret.
Well, Sherry says growing up, she always felt different from her other siblings and wondered why her relationship with her parents was so bad. She says things finally made sense after she found a letter written by a young girl claiming to be her half-sister, and that Sherry's real father was a man named Wayne. Now, her mother told Sherry it was just all nonsense, and Sherry says that her mother hid the letter away in her Bible because she says she figures it was the one place she knew Sherry certainly wouldn't be looking. And Sherry's older sister, Dana, says she was shocked and horrified to find out about their mother's secret. Take a look.
Since finding out that my mom lied to Sherry all these years, I really haven't had much to do with her. To say the least, I am beyond angry with my mother.
I feel like my relationship with Dana is good because I've never done anything to her.
What she's been telling us for years is just one big, fat lie. I recently found out that my mother spoke with Wayne just about once a month. He would call to find out how Sherry was doing. She spoke to Wayne every month. My mom needs to know that she has insulted my intelligence. Now when I look at my mom, first thing that I think about is, are you telling me the truth? My mom is still in denial about Sherry's dad, Wayne. After pushing and prodding, she says she knows a Wayne, but still had no idea he was Sherry's father. My question for my mother was, do you know how babies are made? My mother tries to portray herself as a good Christian woman. My mother's just being a hypocrite. A good Christian woman does not lie and hurt people. The gig's up. Quit lying. What I want my mom to do right now is to look my sister Sherry in the eye and tell her she is sorry for what she has done to her. I want her to apologize and beg her for her forgiveness and to mean it from the bottom of her heart.
Okay, Dana, thank you for joining us because you're kind of a third perspective here, and we've talked about a lot of things, and we'll get to some of the facts here in a minute. Has there been a double standard here? I mean, she says she was treated differently, that her mother had a different yardstick for measuring what was okay with her and what wasn't.
Absolutely. And Sherry told me 2 years ago, and it shocked me, that she said, I don't think we have the same father. And there's no way. What are you talking about? She told me about the letter. That's the first time I had heard about it. And I said, Sherry, we can get to the bottom of it. And I have asked my mother, hands down, about Wayne, about all of this. And I cannot even tell you, to this day, if I ask her, I thought y'all had the same father.
Well,
but we don't.
I did think you did.
Your mother's position is that if Wayne is her father, that was news to her, that she did not know that. She did not lie affirmatively. She just didn't know it. It wasn't some big betrayal, some big hiding of a secret. She didn't say it because she didn't know it. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, now, what I want to do is if that's not true, then we need to own
That's right.
what we know and when we know it, so we can get past it here.
Absolutely.
I told him she was not his child. I've only seen him, I know it wasn't no more than 3 times.
You can't even get straight with Dr. Phil.
When I've looked at what's happened over the years, it appears that you even sent Wayne a Father's Day card on July 24th of 1986, when she was 6 years old, and you had Sherry sign it. Do you remember this?
No, I really don't remember that. And I even told him.
But you just thought
through
you'd
the
have
things.
him send her
Yeah,
her send a Father's Day card to a guy you went out with a couple times.
Yeah, but I thought that she was Dana's sister. No, not. And that man built there.
She is my sister.
Okay,
Yeah.
but then you also corresponded with him, because there's a letter from you to Wayne.
And actually,
And this was on July 24th of the same year, and it says, "Dear Wayne, I was going to send the card for Father's Day. It's a little late, but I sent it anyway. I couldn't have asked for a prettier little girl. Everyone falls in love with her when they see her. If you can try to come see her before she got too old, as when I tried to explain things to her later on, she will know you cared. Let me know if you got the pictures, and I will send you more. Some of these are when she was little, so you could see how she looked. P.S. Please send me a picture of yourself to give her. Take care, Betty."
If I wrote, I had to write that letter. I really don't remember it, because I'm not I wrote maybe 2 letters in my life.
That's one of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I wrote that letter, and I probably did, but I thought later, when I would look at her and all, she belongs to Dana's daddy, She is just like, looks like us and all. I
Okay.
didn't know him
Okay.
as far as really seeing him and remembering how he looked every day or anything.
Okay,
He
hold
wasn't
on.
here.
Hold on. Dear Wayne.
I knew his name now. Yeah.
I was going to send you a Father's Day.
Yeah.
It's a little late, but I sent it anyway. I couldn't have asked for a prettier little girl. Now, let me know if you got the pictures, which means this wasn't your first contact. You're referencing pictures you had sent previously to
No,
this.
I have never wrote him but one time now, and that is the honest God's truth. I
Let
did
me
not write
know
letters.
if you got the pictures. What
Well,
pictures?
Maybe when he came down through or something, and he was at my house, he might have said, "Can I have these pictures?"
So you're
So
saying,
I
let
don't
me know if you got the pictures I handed you, because I looked away as I was giving them to you.
No, it would have had to been pictures that he had there. But like I said, Dr. Phil, as she was growing up, I honestly thought she belonged to the Dana's daddy. And I
Okay.
told him she was not his child.
Why would you give her a picture of some guy you dated a couple times?
He asked about all of my children and everything, you know. He was a nice guy, and he would ask about them, you know, all of them. But as far I've only seen him, I know it wasn't no more than 3 times. Nothing about his family.
Define see him.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I had went out with him, and because I had met him whenever I'd went out dancing, but I did believe that you were.
You can't even get it straight with Dr. Phil.
We'll take a break. What does Sherry's alleged father have to say about all this? We'll hear from him and his daughter, who wrote Sherry that letter years ago, after the break.
At first I was excited, like, hey, she's moving down here, I'm gonna have a relationship with my sister, and I quickly realized Sherry is all about chaos. Sherry was absolutely crazy. She was convinced I was jealous of the relationship she was forming with my dad. I regret contacting Sherry 100%.
Closed captioning provided by...
My mom treats Sherry's children, her grandchildren, the exact same way as she treated Sherry.
My mom's even told them that she will send them to the neighbors so they could be beaten.
She yells, screams.
A few weeks ago, she backed her car over my son's foot, and she could not have cared less.
I don't think I have anger issues, you know, at anybody. That's not me.
Well, Sherry and Dana say they were determined to meet Sherry's alleged father, Wayne, after Sherry received a letter in the mail from an 11-year-old girl claiming to be her half-sister. Well, years later, Sherry finally met Wayne and that little girl, Sarah, who is an adult now. Now, unfortunately, their reunion started out great, didn't end so well, but they nevertheless got together. Take a look.
16 years ago, when I was 11 years old, I found some pictures of a baby, and it said our baby, and the back of it said Sherry. I found the address on one of the letters, and I decided to write Sherry. I never heard back from Sherry, and I just let the whole thing go. 2 years ago, out of the blue, Sherry found me and contacted me. After we met Sherry for the first time, she decided she was going to move and live with my dad. At first, I was excited, like, hey, she's moving down here, I'm gonna have a relationship with my sister and her children, but I quickly realized Sherry is all about chaos everywhere she goes. It was like having a tornado move into my dad's house. Her kids were very unruly and said curse words, did not know how to follow rules, and they were just a mess. She was convinced I was jealous of the relationship she was forming with my dad.
Sarah got upset and just started saying things like I was ruining her life.
I don't have to compete for my dad's love. I'm a daddy's girl, and I sure was not jealous. She would just make stuff up, trying to cause drama, start fights.
Things just got out of hand. I called her a stupid bitch, and I just felt like she was trying to be some high and mighty Christian woman.
Sherry was absolutely crazy.
I feel like Sarah is just an undercover sinner.
I think Sherry has a lot of problems and mental issues. I think she's immature, hell on wheels, and I wanted no part of that. Since she left a year ago, I've had no contact with her at all, and I just have no desire to have a relationship with her. I regret contacting Sherry 100% at this point.
Sarah, come on out.
I hate her, man. I hate her so much.
How are you?
Feelings
Good to meet you. Have a seat.
I'm glad. And if I went on Dr. Phil's show, I'd beat your ass. You're so classy. No, I would. I don't care. I'm sorry. I would
listen,
never
if
do
you're
it
going to
now.
talk that way, you're going to leave. You're not going to disrespect my stage with that kind of comment, and you're not going to threaten a guest on my stage in that way. So you're either going to zip it or you're going to leave, one of the two.
I won't say that again.
Okay, then that's not what we're here for. And so you are forewarned.
I just want the truth to come out.
You got a funny way of going about it. Thank you for being here. You two haven't met before, so you're meeting for the first time. Did your father talk about having a daughter when you were growing up, a daughter named Sherry?
Not until I found a briefcase with all of Sherry's stuff and pictures and letters.
And that was 15 years ago?
Correct.
Okay. So he knew
Correct.
that he had a daughter. And did she know that he was the father?
Yes.
I had told him that I didn't think he was the father.
He told me that he was the father, but you told her that she had a really good life and that, he didn't want to mess it up. But, I found a picture that said our baby, and it was to him, so.
Well, was that my handwriting that wrote on that, or was that his now?
It definitely wasn't his.
So he did know that it was his child?
Yes, he knew.
And they did correspond about it?
Yes.
And he did have a picture that said our baby on the back of it?
There was a lot of pictures, actually. There was some newborn, there was some maybe toddler, 4 or 5. There was a stack.
Let's hear what Wayne told my producers. He could not be in studio today, but he did send a video. Let's take a look.
Hi, Dr. Phil. This is Wayne. I'm talking about my daughter, Sherry, in South Carolina. I was aware of Sherry all these years. I thought it's in her best interest for her to stay in South Carolina with her siblings and her family since I had a home in Alabama. My daughter here, Sarah Beth, read a letter to Sherry's mother saying that she thought she had a sister there. Apparently Sherry never found that letter until this time now. It's hurt a lot of people and I'm so sorry. I just don't know what to do. They look just alike. I love Sherry. I love all my kids.
It just seems that there is a overwhelming amount of evidence, not Sherry's opinion, not Dana's opinion, not Sarah's opinion, but evidence by your own hand that you were corresponding with Wayne from the time you were an infant, sending pictures to Wayne, writing on the back of them, sending a Father's Day card, sending a letter.
Like I said, I did not write letters. I wrote, maybe if she got it, that one letter that he ever got. I'm not a handwriter. I don't write letters, and I can say I only wrote one letter in my life to my mama whenever my sister had a baby, and then this would have been the second one. I am not a letter writer.
You only went out with him like 3 times, right?
Yes.
At least one of those times, y'all had sexual relations, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's possible.
Yeah, well, it was possible because the DNA said different whenever we did the DNA. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're getting somewhere. So it wasn't just square dancing.
Yeah. No. I admit now, I'm like some other people. I was not perfect in my life or anything. I made mistakes.
I'm not judging.
Yeah.
I'm not judging. And you did send a Father's Day card, and you did send pictures, and he does have pictures, and you did send a letter, one of the 2 letters you've written in your life.
Yes.
And to him, and saying...
No, I didn't write 2 letters to him.
No.
Yes.
It's just one. There's one that we know of. You've written 2 letters, one to him.
Yeah.
It just seems, based on the evidence, that you clearly knew he was the father.
I wasn't going to take a chance. If when she was growing up, and I.
If you believe the evidence indicates beyond a reasonable doubt that she knew he was the father, stand up. Look around the room. There are people stopping cars on Melrose right now, getting out of their car and standing up. I mean, that's what's so frustrating to you. You know she knows, right?
Yeah, and I literally lose my mind whenever I'm lied to, or whenever like she's doing to you. I can't take it because I cannot stand hypocritical, undercover liars that claim to be Christians like these 2 sitting right here.
Well,
yeah, I have issues. I am hateful and angry and pissed, and I cuss and I raise hell, and I do a whole lot of crazy stuff.
Well, we're going to talk about that right after the break.
I admit that I have a lot of anger. It's like a volcano, and sometimes I explode.
Just the smallest little thing, Sherry loses it.
I'm angry with my mother because she lied to me.
One time she was mad and she got right in my face and she said, I can take you out anytime.
At this point, I can't trust anyone. I'm all alone.
She's passing all of the anger on to her children.
I resort to yelling and I get really mad.
My biggest fear is that if we don't get this fixed, Sherry is going to hit her breaking point.
In y'all's defense, and God knows you need one, you guys were thrown into a situation that was guaranteed to be disastrous. And as a result, the angst you feel towards Sarah is really not all her fault, and the angst you feel, I'm sorry?
I don't think so either.
And the angst you feel towards Sherry and some of the things that she said and done really are not all her fault. Y'all never really got a chance to get to know each other in a proper way with boundaries and step by step and having someone to guide that and really learn to build a relationship properly. You never really had a chance. And so things happened that I would have predicted you to be where you are with 100% certainty. And it's not because you're a bad person or you're a bad person, it's just you got in a situation where it's just, I mean, like...
We're very different, though. I mean...
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You are sisters. And it was like you were living in a powder keg and giving off sparks. It's just guaranteed to be explosive. And, you know, maybe somewhere down the road we can go with this differently and at least have a cordial relationship even from afar, because you are sisters.
And
you are sisters.
I feel like her lie has, look how many lives it's affected and really screwed up, not just mine.
Well, I agree. There's fallout all the way, and you recognize that you have a lot of anger and you're hair triggered to that. And I don't know what all the answers are as to why that is, but it's not serving you well in this situation or any situation. And it doesn't serve you well as a parent, it doesn't serve you well as a role model, doesn't serve you well as a sister, doesn't serve you well as a daughter, doesn't serve you well as a citizen, doesn't serve you well as an employee or an employer, doesn't serve you well in any walk of life, which means that's something that would be at the top of your to-do list.
It is.
To deal with. So should Sherry and Dana forgive their mother, even if she's unwilling to talk about the past, even if she's unwilling to own what she knows and doesn't know? We'll talk about all of that and what could really help this family next. Closed captioning provided by Betty. In looking back on it, are you sorry that you didn't handle it differently to ease the pain in her life?
Yes. Sherry, I'm sorry I handled it the way I did. I wished I had, handled it different.
Thank you.
All right.
And we can build on that. And, sometimes we get stuck on things, and anger is a very pervasive emotion. It permeates your relationship with your children, with your sisters, with yourself, with everybody. I would really like to get you some help with that. And I mean, somebody to really help you kind of...
I admit I need it. I do.
Get somebody to really help you kind of untangle this ball of yarn and see if it can't really bring you some peace in your life, because I think you deserve it. And
thank you.
I'd like to do that. This is my gift to you.
Well, I would appreciate that very much.
Well, I will do so. And then in time, maybe we can work on healing this whole situation. But let's let that sit a while, and let me see if we can bring you some peace in the meantime for you and for your kids. Okay? Fair enough? All right. I want to thank all of my guests today. We'll see you next time. this has been a great audience, and because it's a new year, why don't you make them happy?
Great idea. That I can do. The first gift is the only product in my skincare line that goes to work within 10 minutes. OMG, is this really me? Is perfect for lifting, tightening, and firming. You can use it just before any special event or a night out. Apply it and you will say, OMG, is this really me?
A great way to kick off the new year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You used it just this morning, didn't you?
Yeah, well, you used it on me. No. She puts it on me and my head goes,
OMG. This next gift you can give yourself every day of the year. Hydrated skin equals you. I always say hydrated skin equals young skin, dry skin equals old skin. Ooh. This is a gift that truly gives back. New year, new you.
So, RobinMcGrawRevelation.com is where you find this stuff, but you don't need to go there because everybody in the audience is going home with OMG, is this really me? And hydrated skin equals you. And if you want to be in the studio audience, go to drphil.com and click Get Tickets. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is where you can find me. We'll see you next time.